Yeah. First time I saw her touch their breast, I was happy. I was excited. And I felt a little love.
Breasts are like the life givers.
They're beautiful. I think they're beautiful.
Breast would be where it's at.
Yeah, maybe titties. I like titties better.
Breasts.
It's really kind of an annoying word, isn't it? Are you guys annoyed by it? Like breasts?
Boulders.
Bongos.
Audacious tatas.
Chocolate cookies.
Cans.
Knockers.
Jugs.
Money makers?
Tits.
Tits.
Sometimes my little babies.
Boobs.
Yeah, pretty much boobs.
Boobs.
Breasts. The attention that we give them is borderline obsessive. They have more nicknames than we can count. They nurture us when we come into the world. They have their own restaurant chain, and women spend billions of dollars a year dressing and refining them. My cup size is a 36C, and honestly, I wish they were smaller. My breasts make me feel hypersexualized, even when it's not my intention to be. I prefer sports bras over regular ones because they compress my breasts and make them appear smaller. For me, crop tops turn into tents, and cleavage is not an option. It just happens. Not a woman relate to their breasts as society does. There are multiple ways to be considered beautiful and sexy aside from our cup size. The beauty standards that society has created perpetuate capitalism and turn our bodies into commodities. The images that the media bombards us with suggest that society, not women, should be able to decide how we interpret our beauty, our sexuality, and ourselves. Beauty and sensualism are feelings, not a number-letter combination that describes a woman's cup size. Women are women because of our genitalia, not because of our breasts. We need to reject the notion that breasts make the woman. For this project, I interviewed 2 women. I wanted to know whether or not I was alone in my feeling that breasts are tied to a woman's sense of sexuality, femininity, and beauty. Here is what I discovered.
My cup size is a 44 double D.
I wear a 34A on a good day.
I think society views breasts as very important part of a woman's totality in the way that she looks.
I feel like your breast size plays a big role in who you are as a woman. I think it starts right when you start going through puberty all the way up until when you're done growing breasts. I feel that defines who you are as a woman.
For me, not knowing my body and not having someone to guide me in regards to my body, I just always viewed my breast as something that was there. However, as I began to become sexually active, it did become a part of my sexuality, and I think that it's very integral in lovemaking and in foreplay and in stimulation.
I definitely feel that breasts plays a big role in sexuality, whether you feel sexy or not, whether how a man views you. I feel that plays a big role in it.
I think that when you grow up and you have breasts, whatever cup size you are, if there's no guidance, you can't identify your femininity. And it wasn't until 1986 when I found a lump in my right breast and I had to have it surgically removed, was the first time in my life that I started paying attention to my breasts. I became afraid that I wouldn't have one. I thought, what if they have to take the right one off? And how would my husband perceive me if that happened? And it was crazy. And fortunately for me, I was able to talk to my husband about it, and he assured me that it would not be a problem, and I believed him. And so in that regard, I was able to say, okay, take the lump out, and if it was more than really what it was, take the breast off, and it would not affect my who I was as a woman, my femininity at all.
I feel like breasts definitely make you who you are as a woman. I think as a little girl, when you do go through puberty, you're really excited for when your breasts start to grow and going through high school. And then you also have the women who go through breast cancer. I feel like when they have to do the surgery and they lose their breasts, I feel like they do go through a depression state. My friend shared with me that her mom kind of went through a depression state when losing her breast, because it's like that's what society's looking at. That's what's making you a woman, and it's sad that that physical trait has to hold so much prevalence of who you are.
I'm happy with my breasts, but I'm not happy with the size. A lot of times when I go to shop and I'm trying to try something on and it says XL and I go to button it, especially in this area when I have a good bra that supports, because I have to, because I am a big cup size, and you get this gap and you really love the blouse, and all you can do is just put it back on the rack.
I do not like my breasts. That's bad, huh? But every girl wants what you don't have, so.
For me, I think women with smaller breasts are more sexy, more, because their body proportion in and of itself is a nice, like, tight package. That's what I say.
I feel like having smaller breasts, I feel like if a man is like, oh, I like big breasts, like you automatically kind of have that insecurity because you're like, my breasts aren't, that size, and you're always hoping that they'll get bigger, but with weight gain, they do get bigger, and you're like, you don't want the weight gain. So I definitely feel that women with small breasts, not always, but tend to want bigger breasts and don't get looked at by certain men. So that sucks.
I see them wearing things that I can't understand why it's so important to, like, have all this out. I mean, I just don't understand why it's important. And so I think they use it as a tool. Maybe they're on the prowl that night, or maybe that's what they get to show off that night, and they do it.
I feel like women with bigger breasts are a little bit more attractive to men. It's out there. But women with bigger breasts have the problem of sometimes if they wear certain clothing, it could be like they're trying to show too much and can be seen as being promiscuous when they're really not. It's just that's what they're born with.
For me, and the benefit that it provides me is embracing who I am and what my breasts are, what they have evolved to as a part of who I am. Whether I had none or I have a lot, I have nursed 3 children on my breast, and the bond that you get in the nursing itself is, I can't even explain how phenomenal it is.
I definitely feel my cup size is like I can wear more low cut things. I can find things that fit me a little bit better. And also when you're working out, they're not like bouncing everywhere when you have big breasts. So I've heard that that's an awesome benefit. So
my breasts mean nurture. My breasts mean nourishment. My breasts are arousing when I'm in that type of situation. But I think mainly it's memories of holding my children and nursing them when I had a lot of people around and they just wanted to take my baby who was brand new, but I knew that there was nothing that they could do when it was time for my baby to eat. And then I could go in a room and just be with my baby, and because no one could provide at that time what I was providing.
Myself, having a smaller cup size, I've always wanted to have bigger breasts and always hoped for it. So I feel like that definitely played a role in how I feel about myself, and that's unfortunate because I feel like women should be happy with what they have. And speaking to myself, preaching to myself every day, I definitely think depending on what you want, it can definitely change how you view yourself. I've always wanted to be a mother, and I'm a big supporter of breastfeeding, and I haven't yet tried it. I heard it's really hard, but I definitely want that bond that I'm going to share with my children to be able to provide for their nutrition and their growth. But after they're done getting breastfeeded, I do want to get fake breasts for myself and my husband. So, but he says he's fine with the ones I have, but for me.
No, I would not. I wouldn't change anything about my breasts or my breast size.